Hi everyone, Nesu Art here. I draw for fun and I'm making videos for fun. And today, we're going to talk about ReZero, episode 7, right? Season 2. Oh my days. That episode was full of it was full. It was actually, everything was in that, right? And episode 8 is coming up next, right? And oh my days, stuff's gonna happen. But let me get through episode 7 first, right? Okay. So, we start with Subaru shouting at Beatrice. And he's like, why did you bother saving me? Why didn't you save Rem? Why didn't you save Frederica? Why didn't you save Petra? Why did you save me? Then Betty, right? She says, I haven't a single reason, I suppose. I'm like, are you mad? Okay. Are you crazy? Those are your friends, right? Well, I say friends. She probably hasn't spoken to any of them because, Betty's weird. We will find out why in a sec. Oh my goodness, I want to talk about this. Right, okay. So then Subaru, he's mad, he's vexed. He's like, who asked you to save me? So Betty is shocked, right? Now, I'm thinking at this point it's because Betty's like, oh, Subaru, you're my friend. Of course I'd save you, right? That's what I'm thinking, okay? And if I was in Subaru's, position, right, I would be vexed too because she saved one person out of all of these people. And of course, because I'm Subaru, I know I can reset. And because, she saved you being Subaru, you can't reset now. So now he's like, what was the point? I've got a bloodshot eye, my hand is pretty much gone. Well, it's not gone, it's bloody and stuff. But anyway, so there's no point. I may as well just reset. So anyway, now he's mad. He's like, oh, Betty, look what you've done. Everything will be rewritten. This awful, history will be set in stone. This is now my new spawning point. You know what I mean? It's been rewritten. Because for whatever reason, Subaru always has a new respawn point. The times in which he, dies and then resets, it, changes as the season goes on. So anyway, he's thinking it's been reset, right? Anyway, so Subaru's like, okay, there's only one thing to do. He needs to find something sharp and just end it, right? So he kicks down a T-set, gets the thing, and is about to do it. But then Betty comes in and is like, no, I'm not going to allow you to do that. So I'm thinking, okay, Betty is doing this because, they're friends. Okay, fair enough, Betty. I'm annoyed that you saved my guy, but at the same time, I can't be too mad at you because you're friends, right? So then, my goodness. It's just, oh gosh. So Betty outstrengths my boy Subaru, and Subaru's on the ground, right? And the book that, I forget the guy's name, he was in the witch's cult, he always says, this, a lot. Anyway, his book is on the floor, and Subaru's like, why do you still have that? And she's picking it up like it's some precious thing. And we know from, I think, 2 episodes ago that she and him were, friends. So I'm like, okay, this is a bit weird. So it's just, oh my goodness. So then, Betty starts saying, oh, the gospel is my purpose. It must be fulfilled. That's the only reason why you and me have been talking, why we've been laughing, this, that, and the other. So now I'm like, oh, so it's like that. It's like that. So because the book told you to talk to Subaru, be friends with him, now you're going to allow it. I'm like, At the same time, I'm thinking, this is, I don't know if I believe that. That's a bit of a lie, that is. Because Subaru always comes in when Betty least expects it. So it can't be because of the gospel. Because sometimes she'll act surprised. It's like, why is he here? So surely it's not because the gospel is saying it. I think at some point she ended up becoming friends with him. And we'll see that point later on. So anyway, she's basically saying, oh, we were never friends. The book told me to do everything. And then she starts saying, human, ningen, like Japanese for human. Don't touch me. So then she whacks him with a book. I'm like, whoa, okay. And then Elsa comes in, of course. She unlocks the door. And of course, Elsa comes in. And this is probably because Beatrice is not paying attention to the door now. She's too flustered with everything. She's too emotional. So now Elsa has a way to come into the library and walks over to Subaru and is like, oh, shame. So then she goes over to Beatrice. She's about to like take out Beatrice, but then Subaru holds her leg and is like, no, Beatrice. And then obviously Elsa's like, oh, that's so cute. And then she just shanks him. I'm like, okay, cool. So Subaru, like, he's dying, right? And we pan over to Beatrice, who looks like she's shocked. She's in terror at Subaru's death. So now I'm thinking, okay, surely it's not because the gospel said that Subaru would die here, because I don't think that's the case. Unless the gospel has like it has a note of each time Subaru is going to die and reset, and then Beatrice knows everything. So then Subaru can be like, Beatrice, I have returned by death. And she's like, yeah, I know, I suppose. Because she always says that. Anyway, so Subaru, he resets, and he's not in the house. He's in Sanctuary, where he's next to Amelia, who's like freaking out. But the thing is, this is like the third time he's ended up in Sanctuary. So you can tell he's like, he's calm, but it's almost to the point where he's like indifferent. Like, that's what it seemed like to me. So like he wakes up, he's like, oh, I'm back. And then he sees he sees Amelia, and Amelia's like, Subaru. And then she's like freaking out. She was like, oh, it wasn't me. And then instead of holding her like he did the last two times, this time he just shook her by her shoulder and was like, yo, Amelia, get a grip. Get a hold of yourself. I'm like, whoa, Subaru, what happened? I thought you loved this girl. What's going on? I get you've like died 3 times already. But like, come on now. You still love her, don't you? Anyway, so, oh my goodness. Now, obviously, Subaru has learned from the 2 resets. The first time he was like, oh, Amelia, I believe in you, this, that, and the other. The second time he was like, Amelia, I'll do it for you. Don't even worry about that. Then it backfired on him. This time, he was like, Amelia, we'll talk about this tomorrow. That's what he said this time. So, the pink-haired old lady, the old lady lolly, was looking at Subaru like something was off. So I'm thinking like, okay, does she know something's up with Subaru? Anyway, that will be like brought up in a second again. Just give me a sec. I gotta get through this. So then Subaru is he's just sitting like outside now, just thinking about all the like routes he's gone through. And like I say routes like this is a visual novel, but it may as well be a visual novel. Anyway, so he's just sitting there like, oh, right, at this point Garfield does this, that, and the other. So anyway, then Otto, he comes up to Subaru and is like, yo, bro, like, you're a bit calm still, like, and then Subaru's like, yeah, that's normal, G. What's up with me being calm? And he's like, no, I'm talking about your girl, like, you're calm, even with your girl being scared. What's going on, G? Something's up. So obviously Subaru's like, oh, you right? That was a bit sus. But then, he's like, Subaru's like, wait a minute, that's a good thing, isn't it? If I'm calm, then that means I can rationally think. So I'm thinking, that's not necessarily the case. Just because you're calm doesn't necessarily mean you can still make rational thought. Even Otto says this. Otto's like, there's a difference between acting calm and thinking rationally. Like, the two aren't linked, really. Like, I could be calm, but I could also be crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you get psychopaths, they're calm, they're like, yeah. But then also they're like, yeah. So, like, you know what I mean? So it's a bit sus. And then I could also be, like, incredibly scared, but, like, still think rationally. Like, in, like, you know, like most MCs in, like, anime. Anyway. Off topic. Right. So, yeah, I'm just like, why isn't ReZero a visual novel yet? Like, I would pay good money to go through season 1, just season 1 of ReZero as a visual novel. I'd play that. It's like Fate Stay Night, and then we get Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, boom, and then we get Heaven's Fear, which, by the way, I haven't seen yet. I need to watch those 3 movies. Again, off topic. So Garfield changes, like he's changed again. So I'm like, what Garfield, what's going on, bro? Like, in the second one, you were mad at Subaru No. In the first one, you're annoyed at Subaru saying, "Oh, you should take the test, not Amelia. Even though you believe in her, she clearly doesn't want to do it." So the second time, he's freaking Subaru's like, "Yeah, I'll take the test." Then Garfield's like, "Nah, I don't want you to do it. I want Amelia to do it." So I'm like, "Whoa, what's going on, man?" So then the third time, we didn't hear what happened, what they talked about, but this time he's now taking Subaru somewhere, like at night, and Otto's there, right? Oh my days. Otto will be he's an important character right now. Anyway, so Otto's like, Subaru's like, yeah, me and Garfield are gonna talk about girl troubles. You should probably go, Otto. So Otto's like, yeah, okay, cool. So then, the freaking Subaru and Otto are walking through the forest, and he's freaking Subaru goes to Otto and is like, how come Frederica can leave the forest but you can't? Like your brother and sister, right? So how come she left the forest? So I'm sitting there like, yeah, that's kind of true still. How come she left? Did she pass the trial to leave? But you have to be accepted to do that trial in the first place. So surely that can't be it. Like, anyway, so what's it? Garfield like dodges the question, and I'm like, okay, cool, brilliant. And the freaking Garfield takes Subaru to the granny lolly, and he asks, like, well, she's like, oh, you're probably wondering about Frederica, and Subaru's like, yeah, how come she can leave? And then the old lady's like, how come you want to know? And I'm like, what do you mean, how come he wants to know? Just tell the guy, man. Anyway, she's like, it does not do well to constantly run away from hardship. So I have to pause the episode at this point. I'm looking at this granny lolly like, are you mad? Are you actually mad? Do you know the amount of stuff my man had to go through? Is still going through. And we're not even anywhere near to Amelia getting the crown or whatever to rule. So you know he's going to have to go through more. Anyway, I play the episode still. I keep going. Subaru's like, yeah, kid yourself. What I mean is, Amelia still has to go through has to face her past, obviously. But if there's a way to get people out of sanctuary now, rather than wait for Amelia to like struggle with it, then that would be better. So then, freaking the granny lolly, she says, oh, so there are conditions, right, to be still in sanctuary. You have to be half and half, like half human, half beast. Well, I say beast, you can be elf, like half human, half elf, whatever. So that's the condition. It has to be half. But Frederica, the reason why she left, she's a rare case because she's a quarter. She's a quarter, like, I think quarter beast and then quarter human. I mean, the rest human, or quarter beast and then, well, no, other way. You get my point, right? There's a quarter. She's quarter, not half, right? So we find out that Garfield and Frederica have same mum, different dads. That's why she's able to leave and Garfield can't. So Subaru's like, oh, okay, cool. Well, that's not going to help me. So then he says that he wants to take the trial in Amelia's place. So they're all like, what? And he wants it to keep it a secret due to their, like, you know, people who don't want to leave Sanctuary. Like, they want to keep the status quo the same. So then the granny lolly's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. I won't tell a soul. So then Garfield comes in, chokes my guy Subaru out, so he passes out. And he wakes up in the, like, he's somewhere in, like, I don't know where we are. He's, like, in a jail cell, basically. He's held captive, right? And freaking Garfield is like, oh, yeah, I could smell I think it's... Is it miasma? Is it miasma, or am I thinking of something else? Anyway, the people who are from the witch's cult, they have a smell, right? They have the smell of the witch, I think. So that's why, and obviously Garfield is a beast, so he can smell this of Subaru. And when you when you kill a witch cult member, you take their factor. We found that out like in the first episode. So now Subaru has more than he already had because he's been cursed. So he has the witch of envy scent, and now he has my guy this. He has his scent on him too. So now we have all that added smell, which only like beasts and like creatures can smell. So that's not good. So then they think he's a part of the witch's cult, and he's been there for like he's left there 3 days. Oh, and Subaru tries obviously to like take himself out so that he can reset and like prevent this from happening. What's his name? Garfield is like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna let you kill yourself. So then Subaru now he's been on his own. Like he's blindfolded. He has a gag, so he can't speak, like scream for help. He's tied up. He can't do anything. So he's now just left with his thoughts. Which, if I was in his position, I would hate that so much, because now we see scenes of him like dying each time, and this guy he's done it enough times for you to be like, once is enough, obviously, but he's done this more, like constantly. Like you see the scenes that he's like seeing, and you're just thinking, this is so peak. Like he's here on his own with his own thoughts and memories of each death he's had. So he's just banging his head like, no, trying to get the memories out. Then Otto, actually we before that happens, or maybe it's, I can't remember when this happens. I think it's like before or after. But anyway, Otto, they're all looking for Subaru, right? The entire town, because no one knows where he is, apart from Garfield and Granny Lolly. And so Garfield is like, oh, that's what he gets for walking through the forest on his own. And then obviously Otto's like, yo, what are you talking about? And Garfield gives him a look and it's like, hey, yo, Otto, come here a sec. Let's talk, my guy. So then he has this like, he says to Otto, I don't want to have to hurt you. If you keep your mouth shut, I'll give you this jewel, which is like really expensive so that he can sell it because Otto needs money for his business. Anyway, so then 3 days have passed. Otto comes in and is like, yo, Subaru, what's going on, G? So he takes him out of the like blindfolds and the ropes and everything. And yeah, so then Otto calls, like Subaru's like, why did you come and save me? Like Subaru is genuinely confused, right? So then Otto goes to him, he's like, do I need to have a reason to save my Eugene, my friend? So then Subaru's like, he pauses. He looks at Otto with a blank stare. And it's one of them stares that like, this guy has lost the plot. Like he goes to him, Eugene? Who's that? He's like, what do you mean, who's that? I mean friend, Tomodachi, you know what I mean? And then Subaru's like, whose friend? And Otto's like, you're my friend, we're friends. Like he's trying to get that through to Subaru. And Subaru, like, you see his face, he's like, he can't fathom it. He's like, wait, friend? What? Who? So like, we have to go through this for like a bit. And now obviously I can't feel too bad. Like, no, sorry. I like get why Subaru is like in that mindset, because he's had to relive all his past deaths through memory. He doesn't have Rem right now, who's like been there to like keep him grounded. Like anytime he goes like to the limit or to like, whoo, like Rem has usually been there to like, let's calm it down a bit, Subaru. You're a bit too excited. Know what I mean? Like, let's chill. And he doesn't have that anymore. Like, because Rem is like currently she's out of commission. So Subaru, he has no limiter on like how crazy and like, he will lose it unless someone brings him back and is like, yo, you're in the mortal plane. Like, let's just calm it down a bit. And Amelia is in a similar situation because she doesn't have Puck, right? And she has to go through her memories of like what happened to her, being constantly compared to the Witch of Envy, and we don't know what else happened to her. We can imagine through like her like screams at night, because she like whenever she wakes up from the trial, she's like screaming. She's like, oh, it wasn't me. People are probably comparing her to the Witch of Envy and like doing hateful things. It's bad. So then what's it? Subaru, like, he starts laughing, like, those crazy laughs. Like, my man is the Joker at this point. The way he's laughing, he's like, ha ha ha, and I'm there like, yo, Subaru, are you right? Are you right, mate? Now, he has his hands on, like, he pats Otto on the shoulder, and is like, you're right, we're friends. So then the episode ends there. Also, I thought, it keeps going. The credits are rolling, right? And at this point, I'm like, oh, okay, so the episode is still going. And it turns out that Ram was helping Otto out. Because Otto's like, he's on the run because freaking Garfield is like keeping an eye on him. And he didn't accept the jewel that I was talking about earlier. He didn't accept it. So Ram has been helping him out, or Otto out. And you got to remember, Garfield likes Ram, so, there's going to be friction later on. So yeah, we cut back to... No, Ram does this thing, right? I don't know if you've noticed. God, now I have to talk about Isekai Quartet. Right, in Isekai Quartet, Ram does this thing sometimes where she goes... like that. She's constantly, like, you see her, she goes... And then, like, in the second season, she had to play Cinderella. And for whatever reason, when in the play, when they were when La Latina, Darkness, and Demigur, whatever his name is, they were trying to talk to her on stage. And then Ram just kept going.
Cinderella, あなたがどうしてここにいるのですか? そうだぞ。お前などお呼びでないの。会話になってない。She's
trying to be Johnny Bravo here. Anyway, so when Subaru and Otto come out of the like, they move away from the jail, they come out of these bushes. We see Ram is there, and she says, "Oh, I'm glad I got here before the cute lolly granny." Like, these are her words. I think she's like, I'm still cuter or something like that. And then she goes, I'm like, for freak's sake, Ram, you're so annoying but so funny at the same time. And Garfield, he comes to the jail, he notices Subaru is missing, and he like grabs on to the wall, and his hand, like, we see it go more beastly until he's just a beast now. And then the episode cuts there. And I'm like, wow. This is serious, serious. So we don't know what's going to happen in episode 8. I can imagine, but I won't go through here because it's already 22 minutes past through this recording. Did I really talk for 22 minutes? Anyway. Yeah, gosh. Wow, that episode. That was good. That was a good episode. I was getting a lot of like Steins Gate vibes, which I love. I'm just like, oh, time travel. Oh, so cool. Reading Schneider. Christina. Psy. Kungru. Anyway. But yeah, I love that, man. I'm mad scientist. It's so cool. Anyway. Yeah, man. Oh my goodness, that was such a good episode. I can't wait for episode 8. Next Wednesday. Oh boy. It's gonna kick off. Watch. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you liked my rambling. Please like and subscribe and follow me at nesu.art at Instagram. Yeah. Goodbye.